Hub gets up and hammers it home.
Bounces it inside to Mooney, who jams it home. To a cutting Jogo for the two-handed jam. It's to Pfluger for the two-handed jam.
Swatted by Durham. Jams with two. Another rejection.
Hello again, Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Basketball with Mike Bray. I'm Jack Nolan, and Coach, the basketball season is now in full swing after the Christmas break. You won your last non-conference game against Coppin State, and then you went on the road to start the ACC season against the best Virginia Tech team I've ever seen in person.
Really good team. Heck of a way to open ACC play on New Year's Day, but a very gifted, old team that can shoot it and spread you. We hung around for about 30 minutes, but I thought their skill level and their age kind of wore us down. But, you know, I think we're getting better. Our young guys are getting more experience, so we want to try and build on it.
It's a process that is usually completed by the end of December, but we're right in the middle of determining just what this Notre Dame team's going to look like by the end of the season. When we come back, we will take you back to Purcell Pavilion and Notre Dame's last non-conference game of the year, a come-from-behind win over Coppin State. You know, you played really well in your last games before the Christmas break. You got 5 days away. The team really needed the rest. You come back to take on Coppin State, and you end up getting quite a scare.
Tell you what, we were very fortunate to win, Jack. I got to give some credit to Coppin State. Their defense really did bother us, and they played with nothing to lose, like a lot of teams do when they get in here. But we were in trouble. And, you know, you can look at it a couple different ways and say, God, we weren't ready to play and we should be up 20 or what all. Or you can look at it as with game pressure on you, you had to make some plays, and young guys were on the floor to do it, to escape with a win. And I hope we can build on a little bit of that, because we had the ultimate pressure on us down 9 in the second half.
When I watched it, I figured it was a game where you just came out flat and didn't have it, but that wasn't the case. You came out, you made some shots. Mooney got a dunk on a great Durham feed. You were up 12 with a little under 8 minutes left in the first half, and it was kind of like, well, this is just another post-Christmas game.
You felt like you were going to push that thing to about 20. You were in a pretty good rhythm. I liked how we got started, but then we stalled offensively, and then they got going, and I thought we let down defensively in the second half. When they made their run to go up, we stopped guarding for a while, and we're hanging our head a little bit, and that was the thing I was most disappointed in. Thank God our leadership in the huddles, Johnny Mooney and TJ Gibbs, got, you know, really rallied the troops to remind them that we're going to have to defend to get out of here alive today.
You talked about stalling. You missed 6 straight shots at the end of the first half. The Eagles go on an 8-0 run. You're only up 2 at halftime. Then the game's tied at 36 early in the second half. And then Coppin State explodes from an 11-2 run. They're fired up. They haven't won all year. You're down 9 with just under 10 to play. And you could even sense it. Watching the film, I could sense the building was really tense.
No, it was one of those where we're saying we're in trouble. And how are we going to get out of it? And again, I go back to our leadership, and it doesn't matter who you're playing. To be in the situation isn't necessarily bad for this team, as it's trying to figure out some mental toughness and some grit and some ways of surviving. But as I remember, you know, the group that gets it going has 3 freshmen with Hub, Goodwin, and Leshevsky on the floor to kind of get us going and make a run to go by them and steal a win.
What a run it was. 21-4. The freshmen helped. Gibbs and Mooney combined for 15 points during the run.
Well, our 2 veteran guys, our 2 captains were fabulous. I thought Johnny was great. TJ Gibbs making big shots. And then our 3 young guys fitting in around him. In the midst of all that, where the offense got going, we got back to defending. We had gotten away from that, and we paid for it because we were down 9. We got back to defending to, again, escape with a win, and sometimes that's what you have to do in these games.
Dane Goodwin had 13.6 rebounds for you. He averaged 12 points and 5 rebounds in the last 4 non-conference games.
So obviously, with the loss of Rex, his role has become even more important. We're leaning on him more. And he is really a gifted young player. He plays a little older than he is. He sees the game a little older. He's got a nice tempo. There's a toughness and a fearlessness about him. I just think he's going to keep getting better and better, and I'm really excited about coaching him the next couple years.
Go back to September, October. Everybody's really intrigued by Juwan Durham. What role is he going to play? Now he's become a marquee player. People are coming to see what he will do. What a game he had for you. Career high 27 minutes. Had never played that much in a college game. 6 points, 6 block shots, and 10 rebounds.
You know, he just keeps blossoming, Jack. This is really fun to watch. A young man who was injured and never really got to play much the last couple years, got healthy. I think our culture and Ryan Humphrey have been so great for him. And to see him get more confident, he's a game changer with how he's playing, and I just keep thinking he's going to get better and better as the year goes.
So your team gets win number 10, 63-56 over Coppin State. Then you have 2 days to get ready, for an easy conference opener, celebrating the new year on New Year's Day in Blacksburg, Virginia, against 10th-ranked Virginia Tech. We're going to show you all the highlights coming up, and don't let that final score fool you. There were a lot of Notre Dame highlights in this game. We'll be right back. With Elijah Burns leaving, and then Robbie Carmody, Rex Pfluger going down for the season with injuries, you're down to 8 scholarship players. Then Nick Jogo gets tonsillitis, so you're down to 7 for the Virginia Tech game.
We go to Blacksburg with 7. 7 really good players, 7 hungry guys, and I was very proud of how we competed against a great team. Virginia Tech they're in one of those old skilled rotations that we used to be into a lot, and we will be back in that someday shortly. But our 7 battled and hung in there, and we played good defense in the first half to keep them to 30 points. But eventually, their offense and their ability to shoot the ball, they kind of broke us down a little bit and wore us down the last 10 minutes.
And in all honesty, this is the best Virginia Tech team, as I said in the first segment, that I've ever seen. You watch them play and you go, wow, they don't have any weaknesses.
No, they're really gifted. Strong, old, skilled, shoot it from a lot of different spots. Then the one big guy in the middle who was great against us. We tried to take away the shooters and let him be the guy, and he was the guy. And, took 20 shots. But I love every time they punched us, we came back and made it interesting a couple times. And it's an instinct of this group throughout this season, not only this game, where they keep fighting, they keep scratching, and that's something to really build on with a young group.
You got off to a great start on the road. 8 minutes in, the game's tied at 13. DJ Harvey was great. He had 6 early points, finished with 16.
Yeah, I think DJ Harvey continues to blossom. He had about 6 straight games where he was really good. He wasn't very good against Coppin State, but I love that he bounced back, and he's got to score for us, and he's got to sometimes force some drives for us because he's athletically able to do that.
And one of the reasons the game was close, Juwan Durham made them uncomfortable. 4 blocks in the first half. He had a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. Unfortunately, foul trouble limited him the rest of the way.
First time he's been in foul trouble as a key guy. This was new territory for him, but you're right. I mean, the man plays 14 minutes and still has 4 block shots and kind of changes the game. Early in the second half, his 2 fouls early kind of changed the complexion a little bit, and then we could never really get out of him what he's been giving us.
Now the Hokies go on a run. They take a 13-point lead, 5.5 minutes left in the half, and I'm calling the game thinking, well, it's just not going to be that kind of day. Your guys explode for a 13-2 run. You're down just 2 at halftime.
We made a great run. I thought Nate Leshevsky, Jack, was fabulous. He missed his first 2, and then he gets going for us. And to go in down 2 is right where we want to be. I told our guys at halftime, I said, we're in perfect position. Let's see if we can methodically play 4-minute periods to each media timeout in the second half.
For you to survive now with the smaller roster, everybody's going to have to contribute. You mentioned Nate. He had 5 points in that run. He finished with 14, hit 4 threes, but 4 different guys scored in that end of first half run.
Yeah, I thought we really eventually started moving a little better and sharing the ball. Their defense got a little bit tired, thank God, and their ball pressure wasn't so we got into the lane. We had some open looks. The other thing we did is we got some transition stuff. When we can get some easy buckets in transition and not have to play against a set defense, that always helps.
You really made Tech work. They come out and punch you again to start the second half. They go up 10 less than 2 minutes in. You have another big run. You go on a 13-4 run. You cut it to 1. Leshevsky and Gibbs scoring all the points. The young guys with the old guys.
Yeah, I thought that was another sign of this group that as we're in the process of building this group for this year and beyond, I love the fight that they have. You know, we call a timeout when a team makes a run. They're poised, they talk about it, they're not overly emotional, they're not angry, they kind of discuss what we're going to do coming out of the timeout. And we did that the other day, and I was really proud of how we reacted against a great team.
We ran back cut step back last time. He had that little short jump shot in front of their bench. Let's run it. Is it side out? Yeah, it's on that side over that side. Let's run it to this side, all right? Shorten it up, Prentice. Back cut, TJ. Step back, take a look, line it up.
Left of our broadcast position comes on out to Hub. Hub to the left of the top of the key to Leszewski. 4-3. Got it! Notre Dame's got it down to 1. 43-42, 14:41 remaining.
Other than Gibbs and Mooney, everybody else, regardless of class, is young in terms of playing time. Probably the youngest team you have ever fielded at any level. And I really thought they held up well to the situation.
This is all new territory for me and us, and I'm excited about it. I love it. But you're right. I mean, even our young guys are young, and they were playing some men the other day, but there's a fight and a grit about them that you love. There's a toughness about them, and we're going to have to rely on that as we try and maneuver the best league in college basketball.
So the Irish lose their first ACC conference game of the year to 10th-ranked Virginia Tech, 81-66 the final, a very, very late 3, accounting for that final differential of 15 points. Now, when we come back, we're going to show you the new, improved version of the Inside Notre Dame Basketball Fast Break. Ever since the very first edition of Inside Notre Dame Basketball with Mike Bray hit the air 19 years ago, the Fast Break feature has been one of the most popular segments of this program. But everything can be improved, and we think we have done just that by turning my role as questioner over to the players. After all, who knows more about the personal lives of the players than the guys they hang out with all year long? So this week, for the first edition this season of the Inside Notre Dame Basketball Fast Break, we take you to Rolf's Athletics Hall, the new Notre Dame basketball practice facility, where junior Nick Jogo will question junior captain John Mooney.
Welcome to the Notre Dame Fast Break, Players Edition. I'm Nick, and I got my friend John Mooney over here, about to ask him some tough questions. All right, so you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Favorite NBA player?
Dirk Nowitzki.
Favorite NBA team?
Orlando Magic.
Your dream team for 3v3?
Me, Larry Bird, Dirk Nowitzki.
Okay.
It's a squad.
Favorite food?
Chipotle.
Your celebrity crush, who you got your eyes on?
Janet Kramer.
Favorite movie?
Remember the Titans. We're super bad.
Favorite actor?
Vince Vaughn.
Favorite actress?
Stuff. Cameron Diaz.
All right. Favorite musical artist?
Zach Brown Ben.
What's your go-to song you're listening to right now?
The new Championships. Drake and Meek Mill.
If you played another sport besides basketball, what would it be?
Golf.
Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
Yes, sir. Best dancer on the team?
Go Nate Leszewski.
Nate? Worst dancer? This is easy.
You.
All right. What's your favorite thing Coach Bray says?
God, it's tough. There's so many. I'll go with who can get the first kill.
What's your favorite Coach Humphrey line?
Like seriously?
Like seriously. Favorite spot on campus? Go-to spot?
Go with South Quad. South Quad, best quad.
What part on South Quad?
Just like the field, man.
Just like a field, just landing, catching a breeze. All right, best defender on the team besides Nick.
Rex Pfluger.
Rex Pfluger. Best shooter on the team besides Nick.
I'll go Nate again.
Nate. Best dunker on the team.
Me.
All right. Who's the fastest on the team?
Me.
Who's the slowest on the team?
Realistically, it's probably me, but TJ.
TJ. Who's the funniest on the team?
I'll go with Prentice Hub.
Prentice Hub. And lastly, the smartest on the team. Can't say yourself.
Chris Doherty.
Chris Doherty. That's a wrap. That's all we got.
Those two guys obviously get along really, really well, and they know each other.
They spend a lot of time together, both Mendoza Business School, students, and grinding it out. But they've got a lot of personality, a lot of fun, sharp guys, really fun guys to be around and teach every day. Great students.
So we'll be back with this week's Ask Coach Bray question and our Play of the Week right after this timeout.
It's time now for the experts at TireRack.com question of the week for Coach Bray. This week's question comes from Bruce Matlock of Elkhart, Indiana. Coach, how do you determine how much playing time each player gets?
You know, I think playing time a lot of time is determined by the players themselves and how they're playing. Obviously, right now, TJ Gibbs is playing a lot, and it's hard to take him off the floor because he scores for us, he defends for us, and then his assist to turnover and how he handles the ball, he makes us go. And then everybody else is kind of a little bit interchangeable. And I think throughout a game, you're trying to find a group that plays well together, and then you ride them.
As we tape this show, Notre Dame's Juwan Durham is 5th in the country and 1st in the ACC in block shots per game, swatting away an average of 3.3 per contest. Even more remarkably, Durham keeps most of those block shots in play, directing them to his teammates. So he not only stops an opposition scoring opportunity, but he also creates a new possession for his team. Durham's 4 block shots in the first half against Virginia Tech are this week's Notre Dame Ticket Exchange, powered by Vivid Seats, Play of the Week.
Layup is swatted out of bounds by a flying Juwan Durham.
I didn't even see where he was,
He
Jack.
came out of nowhere.
He literally came out of nowhere.
Screen and go inside the Blackshear.
His shot is blocked and taken away by Durham.
There's Juwan Durham setting the tone.
Walker now driving left side, double pump.
Shot is blocked by Durham, his 3rd of the game.
Outlaw! Oh, Durham! A denial, his 4th block. Juwan Durham, that meat is undercooked. Send it back.
Up and hammers it home.
Time defense, big time movement, and a lot of different guys making plays.
Everything coming up Irish right now.
Saturday, you host Syracuse in what is their first conference game of the season. They've struggled a bit. They already have 4 losses, but that 2-3 zone is as strong as ever, and they're again loaded with talent.
Yeah, they're old too. They've got some men, especially old guards, and again, attacking the zone for 60-some possessions. Can we be good with the ball? Can we be efficient? Can we get it to the high post? Eventually, you got to make some shots over the top of them, and then, you know, can we be better defensively than we were in Blacksburg?
From the very first time I saw Juwan Durham take a pass at the foul line, turn and knock down a jumper, he gives you a way to attack that zone you really haven't had before.
Yeah, he would be a good foul line guy. There's no question. Different guys at the foul line are good for us. You also like him behind it a little bit too, where we could throw over the top. And what helped us last year up there winning the Carrier Dome, we had 18 offensive rebounds.
Now, I guess one of the benefits of having to open with the first game in conference on New Year's Day this season is after the Syracuse game, you don't play again until the following Saturday when Boston College comes to town. Does this little gap, this little break come at a good time for this young team?
Comes at a great time for our youth. We can get back in training camp mode and really work on some things.
There's no classes.
No school. School's not starting for a while. So we can get better. We have used these segments during the season to change our practice routine to get better before we get back into ACC play.
That will do it for this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Basketball with Mike Bray. Next week we'll have all the highlights of the Syracuse game and more behind-the-scenes insights into the Notre Dame men's basketball program. Until then, for Coach Bray, I'm Jack Nolan. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Irish.
Inside Notre Dame Basketball is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners Coca-Cola, Under Armour, and Gatorade. Inside Notre Dame Basketball is also brought to you by Vivid Seats, Canon, Xfinity, Nissan, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, and SiriusXM.